As we discussed in the first class, AIX, Introduction to the AIX class, um, the hierarchical structure of the file system, everything starts at root. This basically gives you an overview how to move around in the file system, seeding to the CD, change directory to the different location, the relative path compared to complete path. Also, in the first part, we also went through these commands really quickly. Um, uh, link is the same thing as creating a symbolic shortcut in Windows. So let's take a look of that. Look at that really quick. Okay, we are in my home directory, so I can say touch file 1. Okay, now when I say touch file 1, all it does, it creates a empty. You see the file is 0. It creates an empty file and with that name. Now let's create a link pointing to that file. So ln minus s. Now what I'm going to be pointing to will come first. So file 1, and what is going to be the name of the file that I want that to point to. Let's say link underscore file 1, enter. And you see we just created a link file which is pointing to file 1. Now this is called a symbolic link. Now that means that this is a separate file which points to this file. Each file has something called an inode. Inode is a number for each file. And a symbolic link has its own inode. A hard link is another type of link which points to the same location, the same file, but using the same inode. So an inode with two different names. So if I delete one of the file, either the file or the hard link, I can still access the data which that file points to. Now, a symbolic link, if I delete file 1, then that's it. I can't access the file which was contained in file 1. But a hard link is the opposite. I have two sources to access the data. That's the major difference between the two. And again, these are some basic commands used pretty much every day by admins or users on the Unix system. Cat, typically it means concatenate. Like you can actually combine files together. Um, but I use it a lot for just displaying the content of a file. Okay, you see, I catted the file called etc/password, and it went through and it displayed the whole content of the file without stopping. And I can combine. It's actually used for concatenate, but this is how I typically use it. The head command, it does the similar. It's very something similar, but it does the top part of it. So it's showing the top part of the file. So as you see with the head command, the head only showed only the top part of the file, and it gave you a specific amount. Now with the head command, I can say -5, and I can give the name of the file of the command, a name of the file, and it'll only give me the first 5 line. Similarly, we also there's a tail command, and as you can probably guess, the tail command gives you the bottom part of the file, and it only gives you, I think the default is 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so it gives you the last 10 lines, and of course you can say tail minus 5 etc slash password. Okay, tail actually comes in used typically when you're monitoring uh, an activity, and when you are monitoring the activity, you want to continuously monitor it without updating. So how do you do that? Let me just make sure this font is big enough so it's actually visible. Okay. There's an option called there's an option in there for, let's see, where am I? For ANM. There should be a log over here. Looks like there is no log file over here since it's a new server installation. That's why there is no log. Basically, you would do uh, uh, tail minus f sulog, for example, and that will I don't have the permission to do that since it's a restricted file. I would have to become user or root user to do that, but you get the point. You would do tail minus f sulog. And you see how the file has stopped over here. So basically, it is monitoring this file. So when the file changes, it it would update your screen. So if you're monitoring, like for example, HACMP cluster output file, you would have one screen when you're monitoring the output file and one screen when you're actually doing the work. So simultaneously, as you execute the command on one screen, you would use the tail minus F command to monitor the log activity that is taking place. So that's a good place where tail minus F is used. More command is used for many different reasons. Uh, One is the more command also has multiple uses. It can display a file. It could also be used as a buffer to stop a command. For example, if you do a ps space minus ef, that output of that command just scrolls off the screen. Well, you can use a ps minus ef command and do a pipe, which takes the output and sends it to the more, and now now this is the top of the output. Okay, user ID, PID, PPID. This is the top of it, and you can hit enter or spacebar to then slowly go down and look, see what you're looking for. More can also be used to directly look at a file. If you remember, the cat command would just display the whole file really quickly. Well, the more command shows you from the top to all the up to the screen. So it says 72% of the file has been viewed. So you can slowly hit the enter key and continue down and see the remaining of the file at your leisure. History command basically gives you the all of the command that you have ran. It keeps track of everything. The history command, the history is kept in your home directory. This is the file right over here. .sh history. Everything is in everything is saved in this file. So basically, when you enter the history command, it runs this. It shows you the content of this file. Password command, basically, you can you change your own password. If you're a super user, if you do a password space username, you can change the password of another user or set the password of another user. Um, like right now, I am root. I did the ID command that shows you that I am root. I can do a password and I can change someone's password. Let's see. Let's pick up person from the file. Okay, let's say pain. So if I say password, pain. Now it's gonna ask me for a new password. So I'm gonna give it a password and it has to match. Okay, so there is no password policy configured on this server. When you get to when you get to a company that you're working at, most likely there's going to be a password policy, minimum of 8 characters, a number, character, wildcard, so forth and so forth. So then uh, if that criteria is not met, it will fail, and until you put in the correct criteria, it will not take it. It will not take it. Moving on. Um, basically. File names, unlike Windows, spaces are not allowed. Any special characters for file names are not allowed. Spaces, tabs, any of these special characters over here are not allowed in files or directory names. Here are some basic utilities that we have in in AIX and in every other Unix. Now the tar command, compress and uncompress, gzip or gunzip. Also, there's another command called grep. We can just add over here. Also, very useful command. So let's go over these basic commands really quickly. Tar command, basically it will take the content of a directory and archive it. So I am in here. Now I can do a tar cvf temp.tar file, and I give it what directory that I want to tar. Okay, now this just created another file called temp.tar, and everything that's in now, temp is a directory, temp.tar is a file. Now I can transfer this file to another server and untar it, and the complete directory structure that was set up in temp will be now over there. So that's a good way to back up and transfer files if needed. Compressing is very simple. All you have to do is run the compress command and name of the file, give it, and hit enter, and it will take that file and compress it. There are several different type of compressors out there. This is the default one for AIX, and if you do a file and give the name, and that tells you what type of file it is. Okay, we will be stopping over here and continuing on to the remaining of this course in part 3. Thank you. Bye bye.